Hello everyone, welcome back to the Railroad, the Union Pacific Railroad Evanston subdivision in HO scale. My name is Darrell Cruz, owner and builder of the layout and your host for a special product review. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving and are looking forward to the holidays coming up. I have a product review of the Atlas 5800 plastics covered hopper. I haven't done very many product reviews lately just because I have almost all the equipment I need. But every once in a while, a product comes out that I need on the layout. And so I thought I'd do a little review for you on the Atlas 5800 plastics covered hopper. I have lots of covered hoppers on the layout, mainly because of the Wholesome cement, which requires a lot of cement covered hoppers, and also Trona hoppers with the trough style for the Westvaco mine and plant. Before we get to that, though, I just wanted to mention everybody that I am selling some things that you might be interested in, some Digitrax equipment, and some Intermountain Illuminator coal gondolas, and also some containers. So if you're interested in those, get some good products for not very much money, check it out. The description is in the the link to the site for purchasing is in the description. And while I'm opening this box, just want to remind everybody, if you get a chance, to subscribe and like the video. All right, so here I am opening it from the bottom because I don't like to have my address on the label showing for the whole world. But this is a package from Lombard Hobbies. And it's always a thrill to get a package from my good friends at Lombard Hobbies. And this time I picked up 8 of the Atlas Master Line plastics covered hopper, the 5800 center flow covered hopper by ACF, American Car Foundry, I think. Here's all the details about this particular one that I'm getting. I got 8 of these. Probably could use a few more. These are definitely more modern ones. It's most of the covered hoppers I have, especially the ones for the Trona mine at Westvaco and the Trona plant that produces soda ash, use trough style hoppers, and those are usually about 60 feet long. And as you can see right off the bat, these are longer than the standard 4-bay covered hopper. This comes in the usual packaging. Again, these are by Atlas, and I got them at Lombard Hobbies, and they were $35, $34.97 or something like that, which I thought was a great price. And here you can take a look at the car. This is the Atlas Master Line, and it has some things that make it top of the lines, and yet there's some areas which make it more of the baseline. Now, one of the top line things that it has is the etched metal walkways, and what's really kind of nice about these walkways is they paint the walkways, which I thought was pretty good. And it also has some very good end of car detail, which is important for covered hoppers because you can see them on the layout. One thing it does not have much of is the uncoupling gear and airline gear. There is some piping underneath, as you can see. The painting overall is very good, and the printing of the lettering and the safety stripes is very well done. We'll get a really close-up look. It is nice that they paint the etched metal. Sometimes when these products come out, the etched stainless steel is basically still in the stainless steel color, which doesn't look quite like the color of of the walkways on the prototype. Now here's for comparison's sake, this is a Scale Trains, I believe. Could be Genesis by Atlas, but here you can see the painted versus the just straight stainless steel as far as the difference in the walkways. Looks like the Atlas has more individual holes than the I'm pretty sure that's Scale Trains. But then if you look at the ladders are much finer scale in the Scale Trains there, the orange car there. The Atlas are a little bit thicker. Doesn't really jump out at you that there's a difference when you just look at the car, but when they're side by side, you can definitely see one's bigger. A little bit more finer detail on the brake wheel. The piping and so forth, again, a little bit more on the Scale Trains. Of course, there is a difference in price. These are only $35, and a lot of times the Walther's mainline cars, which are all budget, low detail cars, are $34 or $35. So I thought for the price, and the Scale Trains in the Genesis line from Athearn, those things run 50 to 60 and up. Now what's kind of unusual is that Atlas came out with a two-bay covered hopper and came out as a MSRP of $80 and you couldn't get them for you were lucky if you could get it under $60. I would really like those cars, but I'm kind of holding out till I don't think they're selling very much of them, so I'm waiting for the sales. Now I got 8 of these. They came out with a bunch of different road numbers and different roads, and I got 2 of each of the 4 that had the safety stripes and did not have any logo. When I get covered hoppers or tank cars or any of those things, I usually like to get the ones that don't have any kind of logo on there, just the road markings and the road numbers and the data detail. There's your fruit snacks from Lombard Hobbies. So I think that was so expensive, I believe, because it has to be because of tariffs. It's whenever they brought them into the country, that must have been when they were at the highest level. Here we're going to take out another one. And this is a LUHX. Not sure what that is exactly. One thing about the packaging, they have these little spacers in there. They're white foam spacers, and they are a little difficult to keep around. They kind of go flying. So you notice I'm trying to use my finger to keep them together with the packaging, and I had to get on the floor and scramble around and look for them. Now I do have all 4 of them in the package carefully, and putting the top back on. I always try to make sure I keep the packaging, so if I ever do need to sell these items sometime in the future, I'll be able to send them out in the original packaging. Here's some warranty information that Atlas sends along with it. You can register, product registration. I've never done that. I've done it on a few if it's online. I think you can register them online with Atlas also. I know you can with Scale Trains. Not sure what the benefit is with Atlas. There's information about the warranty. A lot of times they'll have the exploded parts diagram. They don't in this particular one. That's usually for locomotives, but sometimes they have it for just general rolling stock as well. Now here I'm carefully trying to put it back in there. without crunching the card. Takes special skill to do this. You have to do it in a certain order. See, I'm trying to figure it out. So I pull it out a little bit, and then I put it in there, and then we are good to go. All right, let's take a look at them on the layout. Here they are sitting here in Evanston Yard on the west switching lead. These are the EAMX cars. These all have their walkways, their etched metal walkways painted, which always looks nice. Again, you notice none of these have any kind of logo. And I don't have anything against logos. It's just that whenever I see covered hoppers, it's an exception to have a car go by that has a logo. Maybe your area of the country differs, but my experience watching trains, don't see very many with logos. So just looking at these, I guess you can tell that the ladders and stirrups are a little thick. So that just a little bit of a negative, although I'd say for $20 to $25 less than the Genesis line or the high-end lines, it's still a great value. I really like the walkways. And the painting is very well done. And it's got all the safety stripes, reflective tape, I guess I should call it. Definitely look really nice. They have the McHenry couplers. I, of course, switch out all the couplers for KD 148s. You can read this very fine. I was trying to get the camera to focus on it, but you definitely can read even the smallest printing on the models. So it's kind of cool to look at it real close with the camera. To be honest with you, with my naked eye and my glasses, I have a very hard time reading any of that small print, but it's good to know that it's there. And all the miniature 1/87th scale figures that I have on the layout, they'll be able to read it and know what to do with the cars. Here's again a comparison of the walkways. And there's a difference too. Those I have tons of these trough hoppers that I'm using for the Westvaco trona mine and plant. In Wyoming, they have a lot of trona, which is a mineral that they process into soda ash, and they use all the trough covered hoppers. And then this is a cement covered hopper, but they have the hatch. So these new ones I got have the hatch and not the trough. So I won't be dropping any of these off at the Westvaco mine, but it's good to have a good representation of them. Probably could use a bunch more. Here we'll see them go by in a train. Now you have to kind of catch them. There's two of them at the very beginning. I think that's them right there going by. So there's two of them. There's 6 more that are at the very end. This is just a manifest train. And I think this has probably about 35, 36 cars altogether. You might want to count them if you get a chance. This is in the mountainous area, the Wasatch Mountain grade, going from Emory up to Wasatch Summit. This is the area where the two lines separate and are actually on 2 different elevations at this point. Cannot see the other main line from here, but it's just below the camera. All right, still waiting for those last 6 cars. Here we get a close-up for them. There they are. Great cars. I definitely highly recommend them. Check them out at Lombard Hobbies. Thanks everybody for watching. Hope you get a chance to have a great week and the great Christmas holidays coming up. Take care, everybody.